Hey everybody, good evening. I watched the video but had a little technical difficulty in uploading my video, so I'm making it now. I hope you enjoy. We were asked to watch the video this week, and the questions were: how do Grandin's ideas aid in your understanding of how people think? For myself, over the years of interacting with different and unique minds through my work in the mental health field, I've seen many types of thinkers. Some of these thinkers were very mentally ill because of traumas or other biopsychosocial factors. Others would be considered normal or average, with no alter from the average person, while others were simply born with a different way of processing information that is similar to the types of minds that Temple Grandin describes in this TED Talk. The cerebral imaging that Grandin shared was quite intriguing to me, to see a real-life comparison to a control study patient. Grandin implies that the visual cortex differs from the average person's due to some form of autism and brain makeup, having it larger in what she calls a trunk or roots of her visual sensory connection. I wonder if larger studies into autism and brain function similar to these have been completed, and if so, what are the results? All three verbal, photorealistic, and pattern thinkers are everywhere in our world. Some of these slightly autistic thinkers struggle more than others to fit in or interact with others in society's acceptable norms. I do agree people learn to socialize through shared interests, as Grandin explained, and further agree that modern teachers and parents need to find new ways of engaging these minds, and all minds for that matter, in interesting hands-on ways that allow for more than one type of learning to occur. The specialized thinkers are often those that move our society forward through their ability to see the world through a different lens, not considered before. Historical giants, Grandin further mentions, like Einstein, Tesla, and Mozart, are not lost to the past, but are in the minds of these kinds of thinkers if we're able to be supportive, and provide an engaged mentorship to encourage their talents. With all these thoughts I just mentioned, I've been thinking that not everybody needs to see the world in the same way, and sometimes it's a very good thing when people can see things differently. Instead of doing things the same way we've always done just because that's the way they're done, well, maybe we can all be enlightened by somebody's different take or perspective. How might Grandin's ideas influence how I communicate with others? I love how Grandin simplifies her concepts to convey her information to the audience. She lays out very specific ideas through succinct, organized, and layperson language that allows people to engage and follow her points easily. The use of straightforward, non-inhibiting language sets a tone of support and equality that is often forgot when speaking about people living with mental health or developmental differences. I feel that her speech enlightened me to remain hopeful for all people as being potentially diagnosed with a condition such as autism, or be placed on the spectrum in some form, because people are really good at sorting things, and that's why they do it. But that does not mean that people cannot achieve amazing things. I currently work in the realm of healthcare and mental health, and am respectful and encouraging, as appropriate, to everyone I encounter, treating them all with equal respect they deserve. Sometimes I do get lost, though, in my own way of processing information, that I may have to back up and deliver the information to another person in a different style than is my norm to be effective. This TED Talk especially reminds me to be more mindful of others' perspectives, and inspires me to think of new ways to interact with people. Maybe choosing a different method of explaining something or interacting with a different person. Not in a way that makes it any less engaging or informative, but just a different approach. trying to understand how somebody might feel or think or see when they may be experiencing a different outlook on life than my own. How do I relate these ideas to my writing? My writing is often long-winded, verbose, yet fairly simple in its prose. I try to be organized, but I need to remind myself that sometimes the details I usually include are fairly complex and maybe overwhelming to people. My audience may be looking for a different style or presentation of information that I'm used to compiling. Sometimes I write things completely different from my normal prose as I catch myself wandering into whimsical or non-academic frivolity in my descriptions, and I'm forced to redirect the tangent back to pare things down to simpler facts. I won't surrender all of my style and choices in those realms, but I'll try to be more mindful and rework it to accommodate the purpose of each individual piece of writing and the audience. And hopefully this will not only save me time in my profession by shortening things down and making them more succinct, but should also embolden me to become more confident in my writing in this succinct manner, simplifying the method of communication further when needed. In my written response, I also included some resources and thoughts on ASD, autism, and gave a couple links for a website and a video from the national site in UK of Wales for autism. It's asdinfowales.co.uk. And if you have a chance to take a look at it, tell me what you think. I thought it was really interesting, and I think they're doing a lot of good work at helping people be more mindful and supportive in the world that needs to have these conversations, and really not relegate people or push them aside because of perceived disabilities, but really encourage people, because these people with disabilities, I have disabilities, you may have disabilities, diagnosed or undiagnosed. Everybody is different, and everybody sees the world in a different way, whether we try to agree that we have these social norms or perspectives. We all differ in our opinions and viewpoints. And I don't think anybody with a mental health diagnosis like this, with autism even, is any lesser of a person. I think that because, as Grandin puts it, with the different styles of thinking and learning, that maybe they have the potential to do things that your average person may not. So I think we should cherish them and encourage them. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my long video. Again, I apologize. I had severe technical difficulties and was unable to put this up. I hope you all have a great weekend, and I hope that we can talk more throughout this class. Have a good night.